Hopefully you guys know the drill by now. I'm going to start every proof with my givens, so go ahead and jot those down first. Your reason you know those are true is because they're given to you. The next phase of our proof is going to be to figure out what tick marks I can add to this diagram. And I can't just add things because I want to. I need a reason to add what I'm going to add. Well, because I have parallel lines, if I were to go and extend these lines a little bit longer, there's my parallel lines, and draw in my transversal, you may recall that we have something called alternate interior angles. And so angle A and angle E are congruent to each other because alternate interior angles are congruent. Again, make sure you have that are congruent part in your proof. If all you do is say they're alternate interior angles, I'll say, so what? What's important is that we know they're congruent to each other, okay? I can do a similar thing for angles B, D, and C. They're also alternate interior angles, and so I'll say that they're congruent for that reason. Taking a look at the diagram then, I have two angles and a side that is not between the two angles. So this is an example of angle, angle, side for why these two triangles are congruent to each other. Let me go ahead though, and even though we're done with that proof and that's totally fine, let me go ahead and actually rewind this proof ever so slightly. Let's go back to step 4. Let's say that instead of using angles D and C being congruent to each other, some of you may have noticed that these two angles in the center are also going to be congruent to each other because they're vertical angles. So watch how our proof can play out a little bit differently. I can say that angle, and I can't say angle B because that's not going to be enough information. Pardon my sloppy writing right now. Angle ABD can be congruent to angle EBC. And so this is just an alternative way to do this proof. This would be just as valid. The reason I know that is because vertical angles are congruent to each other. So notice now how our final statement is going to be a little bit different. Oops, actually, let me change one other thing. I suppose I should have rewound a little bit further. Let me say instead of A and E, let's say we had B and D as well. We had proven that. I just did this in a different order. So just to see, my diagram's going to be super sloppy right now, but angle D and angle C were congruent because of alternate interior angles. And then I had those vertical angles. Notice this time, if you can read my writing, or my tick marks, the two triangles are congruent to each other because of angle, side, angle. If I had done the proof this way, I'd have two angles with the side in between them. Either version is going to be correct, whichever way you see and it makes more sense to you is totally fine. Just want to show you that there are alternative ways to do the same proof and get the same thing proven, that the two triangles are congruent to each other.